Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give a couple more minutes, maybe one more minute, to see if more people come in. Thank you all for being here today. Just wait another moment or so. Hopefully, a few more folks trickle in as we're getting started. Hello. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, everyone. Welcome to our October Career Connections webinar. I am Molly Saunders. I am the Client Services Coordinator at the Women's Resource Center. And I am so excited to have Enrico Pucci of the Southern Technical College here to speak about their programs and their career potential for all of you. I'm going to start by talking a little bit about the Women's Resource Center and our career programming before I turn it over to Enrico. After that, we will have a Q&A time. You won't be able to speak, but you can type your questions into the Q&A box, and we'll make sure that they all get answered at the end of the presentation. Then we'll wrap up, and immediately following the Zoom, a survey will pop up, and we would love for you to fill out the survey, give us your feedback on the program itself, on Women's Resource Center. We are always happy to have new opportunities to learn and to improve our programming in the future. All right. So the Women's Resource Center has been empowering women in Manatee and Sarasota counties since 1979. We have 3 centers, one in Bradenton, one in Sarasota on Tuttle, and one in Venice. And we see approximately 9,000 clients a year and offer over 7,000 hours of programming. We offer all of our programs at low or no cost. Our largest program being resource advising, so connecting people who call in or visit in person with local resources. Could be anything from career services to housing and food. We also provide low-cost mental health counseling, our career services, which include our career closets, which you can visit for free and get clothing for job interviews or just clothing in general. We also offer educational workshops like this one and scholarships. That's particularly relevant since we're talking about college and career programming today. Our scholarship program opens for applications in January. And I know that Enrico will also be speaking about financial aid and aspects at Southern Tech. In addition, we offer things like legal and financial consultations, and we have various workshops upcoming in just a couple of weeks. We'll be having a panel of women speaking about community and connection for women in the workforce. So please check out mywrc.org for everything that we have going on. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to hand it over to Enrico.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right, it's your turn.
I appreciate that. Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to our Career Connections workshop. My name is Enrico Pucci, and I want to just welcome you to our time together and tell you we're going to spend just a little bit of time today getting to know more about Southern Technical College and the opportunities we offer for workforce development in the region. This is just a little bit about me. I am not a Floridian by birth. I grew up in California, but met my wife, who's a Florida person, in graduate school at Penn State, and we've been living here in Florida since 1997. So I've lived on the East Coast, I've lived on the West Coast, and you can see that I've been 13 years here in our region, the Tampa Bay and Suncoast region, where I've worked both in K through 12 administration and then 10 years for Southern Technical College. So my job today is just to introduce you to our school and what we do and ways that we might collaborate together. And so you might be asking, right, why are you here? And I would tell you that we're here because both my school and the Women's Resource Center share the same mission. While I'm not exclusively gearing our programs to women, our goal is to engage and educate, enrich, and empower all of our students. And we think that workforce training is an important route to self-empowerment. And what I tell students all the time is you can either have choices made for you, or you can be in the position to make your own choices. You can either have opportunities, forced upon you, or you can make your own opportunities. And that's really what the definition and the difference is between empowerment and not being empowered. Empowerment means that you have choices. And one of the beautiful things about training is that we believe that training provides you a foundation to begin making choices and seeking opportunities that will get you where you want to go. And so we're here because we share the same mission. And I'm excited to spend some time talking to you about it today. So the first thing I want to do is I want to just spend a little bit of time looking at where we live and kind of the major population areas. And, part of what we do is we spend time studying trends and data in our region, especially as it applies to workforce development. So you can see that from Bradenton all the way down to Punta Gorda, in our region's kind of big metro areas, we've got growth happening on a pretty, consistent basis, right? If you guys live up in Manatee County, just remember what Parrish looked like 5 or 6 years ago, right? Cow fields and empty space, but we are constantly growing. If you're in South Sarasota, Welland Park has come online and is growing like a weed. New hospitals are being built in Welland Park, being built in Northport. So we're exploding. In fact, what the research tells us is that over the last 5 years, we've had a 14%, spike in population. And places like Northport and Welland Park and Lakewood Ranch are just exploding with new residents. And even though the population is growing, one of the things that we're noticing is that we have a workforce deficit. And what that means is there's more jobs out there that are open than employees. Now, I know sometimes when you say something like that, you think to yourself, well, then why is it so hard to find a job? Well, what we know is that not all jobs are created equal. And so, right, the idea here is that we're going to find you the right job to be able to be, moving into your desired future. And what we also know about our workforce and what's growing here is that the two biggest areas that matter to us are healthcare or allied health jobs and trades and construction. And the other avenue that is growing is retail, right? Florida is a service economy. Tourism and service make up the backbone of what we do. But to support all of that, healthcare and trades are two of the most important, and they're the largest growing workforce areas for our region. So I say all of that because my big message for you today is that Southern Technical College, which is a workforce training educational institution, is uniquely built for our region and its needs. We don't have 50 programs. We have just a few programs that we believe really target and meet the needs of what is happening in our communities. And so I want to introduce you to our program so you can know a little bit about what we do and what's available. And then I'll spend some time talking to you a little more about some of the distinctive qualities that I think make Southern Technical College an important player in the workforce growth and development in our region. So the first thing I would tell you is that allied healthcare is obviously a massively growing field. New hospitals are online for hundreds of beds, which means hundreds of supported medical offices and medical practices will be springing up around those hospitals in Welland Park and in Northport, for those of you in Sarasota County. So the two programs that I would call your attention to, one of them is medical assisting. And, this is a great program because, allied health in general is great because it offers you opportunities to climb the ladder, so to speak, in the work area. So some of you might be CNAs or home health aides, and you're sort of like looking to level up. Maybe you're done, working holidays, weekends, nights in an assisted living facility as a CNA. Maybe home health is not all that you thought it would be, or you're done traveling. Medical assisting is an office-based kind of 9 to 5 steady work, opportunity where you're trained to be, part of the medical office, assisting doctors as they, take in and manage patients. And so our programs in medical assisting are 10 months long, and you're in and out with a new career in less than a year. And so I'm going to talk about another program that we have in our allied healthcare, but instead of assisting people with physicians, we have a veterinary assisting program. And so for those of you who love animals, this is a great opportunity to find the ground floor in an industry that is worth billions and billions of dollars. Animals and pets are an industry that is growing and exploding. And as pets become even more a part of our lives, finding qualified people to work in veterinarian offices and the other associated outlets that do veterinary medicine is important. And just like medical assisting, a veterinary assistant can level up to the next level to become a veterinary technician or to be working in a veterinary ER. But that's the beautiful thing about allied healthcare. These are great entry-level opportunities that allow you to move, right? Medical assistant, we have plenty of medical assistants who graduate and then continue on to their RN and then continue on to their Bachelor's of Science in Nursing and are now working either as nurse practitioners or physician's assistants, right? Your limits are only your dreams and your vision. And so if you'd like to enter into, the medical field, this is a great place to make those first steps. Now, another important allied health program that we offer, and this one is a 2-year program, it's a traditional associate's degree, is surgical technology. And for those of you who might be interested in anatomy, or you love watching Dr. Pimple Popper or Botched, or any of these medical shows that we find on TV these days, surgical technology might be a great entry point for you. This is a 2-year program where you are trained to become a member of an OR team. And it's 18 months of classroom time and 6 months of clinical externship where we place you into a local hospital's ER or an OR, and you are scrubbed in and participating in surgeries as a part of your training. And so this is a really fantastic program. The growth potential here is phenomenal, as well as the salary potential in this, right? From here, you go to become a certified first assist. And what that means is you become, a doctor, a surgeon's, go-to right-hand person. For those of you who might be interested in plastic surgery or orthopedic surgery, cardiovascular surgery, plenty of our graduates, start in the OR and then link up with a particular group and end up, being in the OR as they travel from hospital to hospital as part of that surgical team. So this is another fantastic opportunity for those of you who might want to enter into the medical field and find something that's very challenging and offers a tremendous amount of growth potential. But in addition to allied health, which is a huge and growing field here in our area, the other area is the skilled trades, right? So as we're building all of these new facilities and as these communities are growing, literally, we are training folks to help build them from the ground up. And we have two programs that we offer in the skilled trades. One of them is electrical technology. And for those of you who might want a career as an electrician, this is your opportunity to enter in, gain some hard skills, and it prepares you to enter the career path, which includes apprenticeship, licensing examinations, and that process, for those of you who might want to move into kind of a traditional trade like electrical, is something that gives you the first opportunity to step into that field and see what it's all about and provide you with some advantages to those other folks who might be coming in as greenhorns or coming in off the street. But we provide you with skills and then placement as well. So that's an important part of what goes on. We call electrical technology kind of the heart of the trades, because everybody else is building and working. What they're all waiting for is the electrician to come and make things work. The second skilled trade that we offer here is air conditioning, HVAC. And for those of us who live in Florida, and maybe you've had this experience, right? Coming home on a Friday night at 5 o'clock and your AC's down, the prospect of spending the weekend in August without the AC is pretty daunting. And so there is no program that we offer that is more exciting at some levels than HVAC, because there's such a tremendous need in our community that our students are hooking up with their jobs within 3 or 4 months of showing up. And by the time the 10-month programs are over, again, these programs are all in and out in less than a year. By the time the 10 months are over, they have spent 4 or 5 or 6 months already in the industry. And so these are two very important and growing areas in the trades. And this is a great entry field, especially HVAC, because if you live in Florida, you are always going to have an opportunity to work. And so, again, those are our 5 programs: medical assisting, surgical technology, veterinary assisting, HVAC, and electrical. Again, we don't have 50 programs. We have 5 that we do extremely well, and 5 that we believe meet some of the most important needs of the workforce here in our region. Now, I can tell you that from Manatee County all the way down to where we are, there are over a dozen technical colleges or career or technical education centers. There's lots of options, and that is a good thing, because whatever your desire is career-wise, there's probably a program that you can find that will satisfy your needs to enter the workforce in a new place. But part of what I want to do today is just to talk to you about some of the distinctive qualities we have, so that you can know that as you survey your options, that this might be one that meets some of your particular needs. And so let me just take a minute to go through some of those distinctive qualities. Now, when new or prospective students come in, one of the things we tell them is, because they ask, why Southern Tech? And the answer to that question is pretty simple, for us at least, is we believe that students choose us because they gain an advantage. They set themselves apart, if you will, having come here, experienced what we offer, and having graduated. We believe that Southern Tech offers some advantages to you, to your schedule, that make us a great choice. And I want to just spend some time talking to you about the Southern Tech advantage. Now, just in general, this is Gabby, by the way. She's a graduate in our electrical program and works for a firm in Venice. here's just some of the basic advantages. One of them, and this is the one that most of our students choose us for, is that we have a very flexible schedule. While there are lots of other colleges and career training programs, typically they want you to start on their schedule. Maybe they have 1, 2, 3 opportunities a year to begin a program. Well, here at Southern Tech, we begin a new program every month. So when you're ready to begin your training, journey, and you've decided to make a change in your life, you don't have to wait, because we start programs essentially every month. And if it's not every month, our surgical tech program, our veterinary program start every quarter, so 4 times a year. And the other thing about our schedule is that we have day classes and we have night classes. And so for those of you who need to work, which is all of us, right, you could actually hold a full-time job and become a student at Southern Tech. And that's important because most of our students, right, are not living at home with mom and dad. They're on their own. And for whatever reason, they've decided that it's time to level up, to begin to find ways to empower themselves, to enter the workforce in a new place. And we offer a schedule that allows them to do that as soon as possible. You're not going to wait for us. There's no wait lists. Our programs are, because we start a new program every month, we typically can accommodate every student who comes to us. Now, one of the other advantages is financial aid, and Molly was talking to you about that. We take all kinds of scholarships from the outside, and our students get Gulf Coast Community Foundation, Sarasota Educational Foundation. We're going to work with the Women's Resource Center as well. But one of the most important things is we are fully funded by the federal government, and we offer both Pell Grants and Title IV student loans. And so most of our students find themselves having, part of their education paid for by a grant from the federal government, which is something you don't have to pay back, but they also have access to small loan amounts. This is not a program that's going to put you in, debt for the next 30 years. The vast majority of our students take, anywhere between $6,000 and $8,000 in loans, and payable over 5 years at, very small monthly payments. And in addition, even if students have out-of-pocket payments, we extend those payments as well. So we have lots of room to be affordable to you, and lots of qualified help to help you find the ways to fund your education in ways that it doesn't come out of your pocket. The last 3, I think, are pretty impressive for us. We hire subject matter experts, people who have experience in the field. These are not, greenhorns. These are people who have decades of experience and have decided to come back and train the next generation of workforce in their areas. And so for the trades, for example, I have literally like 100 years of collective experience in the trades in HVAC and another 100 years in electrical. Our teams are, very well versed, and then they're not just expert in the field, but they're experienced instructors so that their classes are meaningful and engaging, and that's important. A second thing I think that's important to know about our academics is that when you come here, you earn national industry certifications that you carry with you and carry into jobs, and more, all of these areas are looking for certifications as a way of kind of separating candidates out. And I'll talk about that in just a second as well. And then finally, what I think is maybe one of the most important things about our school and what distinguishes us from four-year college in general, but maybe from some other schools in the area, is that we have an extensive network of employers across our region, including south of us in Lee County. And our graduate placement rate is about 90%. That means 9 out of 10 of our graduates get their first job in the field that they've trained for through a connection with Southern Technical College. Because education, we're not going to shake your hand after you finish your program and wish you good luck. That's what happened to my kids. They graduated from college, they got a diploma, and then they had to go look for their jobs. and fight off candidates and, apply online. They had nobody in their corner going to bat for them. But we have a full-time team here dedicated to making sure that you can use our contacts. There's an old saying that it's not what you know, it's who you know. But we know everybody in the 5 disciplines in our area that are hiring, and we place you in externship and clinical opportunities with the hope of moving right into your first job. So if you're looking for a fast track to a new career, then choosing Southern Technical College might be the choice for you. Now, let me talk about another thing that I think distinguishes us. In many college environments, the student conforms to the college. There's lots of rules and there's lots of restrictions and constraints, and you have to conform to them. One of the things we know very well about our students is that typically they're not, what we would call a traditional college student, young, living at home, and, having mom and dad pay for their schooling without the need to work, or maybe they don't have a family. But what we know about our students is we have plenty of students that have families. Some, are raising their children on their own, like you might be doing. Some are housing insecure. Some of them are literally, living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, hoping that something like the shutdown doesn't happen to disrupt their flow. And so they want out of that kind of lifestyle. And so they come to a training program where they become the priority. And what I tell people at Southern Tech is that this is our promise. Our promise to every student is that they come first and that they are the reason for every adult in the building, because a student's success is our top priority. And if you want to be made first, if you want to be a priority somewhere, then that's why you choose Southern Tech, because that's an advantage I think we have over other programs. So if you'd like to experience that, this might be the school for you. A third advantage is that, you're not just coming in and coming out. You're joining a community who works and lives together, supports one another, and creates an opportunity not just to learn skills, but to build relationships. And what I'm showing you here is our calendar. We just started a new term on Monday. And so you can see, at the very top left, we had our new mod. But then you can see all the things that are happening over the course of this month. So you'll see that food trucks are here. You'll see that there's, a variety of events that are happening that allow you to participate, bond, and grow. And so we want that college experience to be the opportunity for you to create relationships and a support network that extends beyond your time here at Southern Technical College. And, I think the proof is always in the pudding. So this is a group of MA students for St. Patrick's Day last year. These are 3 veterinary assistants who graduated in 2025. And this is a group of medical assistants. And what I can tell you about the people in these pictures is that, they all met here. Some came as friends, but they got here, became friends, and then become colleagues out there in the field. And one of the things that I think we do really well is create that supportive environment that allows the space you need to make a transition into full-time training or full-time college. So that's another advantage. Now, here's a question that I guess, all of us probably ask if we're looking for a job, right? Even though there's lots of jobs, there are jobs that you want, and maybe you don't want to be an overnight gas station attendant, right, to survive. Maybe you'd like to be an office worker, or like to be a medical assistant, or like to be in the OR. And so those jobs are still very competitive. And so the question is, what makes a candidate stand out? And the answer that we know, because we talk to our employers, and that's why we have these big relationships, is what they want are these 3 things. They want to know that the people they hire are trained, They're not coming, with a blank slate. They understand the industry. They understand and have skills. They come certified with national certification, and they come with experience. These three things separate and set apart our graduates from other job-seeking candidates. And so we want you to stand out. And that's probably the biggest advantage that we offer you. When you complete our training program, not only do you have skills and certifications and experience that'll help you stand out, but you have a team of people who are going to bat for you to place you in that first job. And listen, we can help you get a job. We're not going to be able to help you keep it, but part of what we do here over 10 months is help kind of, inculcate you into the professional expectations of these new career paths. And so you are going to be standing out if you can do, basic soft skills, professional, demeanor. These are things that keep jobs and allow you to level up and be promoted. And so I can't tell you how many of our graduates are now office managers, are registered nurses who've laddered up out of medical assisting. I have certified first assists. I have travelers. I have people working at prominent hospitals like Sarasota Memorial, the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville. We've got graduates all across the region, all across the country, who found their beginning of a real career path right here at Southern Technical College. So last thing I would tell you is you don't have to take my word from it. In 2025, two pretty important regional groups noticed what we do and invested in us. Here in Charlotte County, where we're located, just over the border from Northport, we are the 2025 college community champion. And what that means is that, we're making the biggest difference in the lives of students, much like yourselves, looking for a new career path or an opportunity to break some chains of generational issues, right? And our job is to help students move to the next step in their game plan and their career and in their personal life. But more than being recognized as an important workforce developer in the county, Future Makers Coalition, which is a 5-county collective, has granted us over almost $500,000 in 2025 for student scholarships. So we were able to support electricians, HVAC students, medical assistants, and surgical technologists had grants in the amount of $285,000 that I spread through, the population. So we're always seeking ways to partner with other agencies to benefit our students. So you don't have to take my word. You can go take a look at some of these things and see that Southern Technical College is making a difference in our area. So I'll come to the end of my monologue here by letting you know that, right, classes start in just about 30 days. November 24th will be the last start of 2025. And if you're interested in medical assisting, HVAC, or electrical, we could, from interest to enrollment can happen in no time at all. And you could be ready to start, this next month. And then in January, all of our programs, including surgical technology and veterinary assisting, are starting as well. So January 5th, we'll have a big start for all 5 programs. And if you want kind of a new year, new you, this might be an opportunity to come and visit with us and learn what we do and see if we can become a partner with you in your educational journey. And I'll leave you with this. You've got your phone, take it out, take a picture of the QR code there, and you can check out all of our socials. And if you're interested in surgical technology, we've got a YouTube channel, although there are over 500,000 subscribers, and we're pretty active, in the social network. But we do a lot of good work. We're connected with a lot of good folks, and we'd love to see you. My personal information is here, and you can call me or text me or email me. So go ahead and take that down if you'd like. And these are the hours and our location in Port Charlotte. We're right over the Northport border on the corner of US 41 and Collingswood, just south of Toledo Blade. We've got students from as far north as Manatee, as far east as Haines City and Wauchula, but most of our students come from Sarasota, Venice, Northport, and Charlotte County. So with that, I am going to cease the monologue, as I said, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And I'm gonna leave this up, and I'll let Molly feed me the questions that maybe have come through.
Sure. So the Q&A box is open, folks. Feel free to add anything you might have. While we're waiting, Enrico, my question, I guess, is what the application process looks like.
Sure. Good question. So students must have either a GED or a high school diploma at the minimum. So like every college in Florida, every training program, every career college, there needs to be a secondary credential. So if you're a homeschooled student, we need to have, the homeschool transcript. If you graduated from traditional high school, we need your diploma. And if you have a GED, we need your GED certificate. That is step one. After that, aside from surgical technology, we do have an entrance exam for that. We do not have an entrance exam for any of our programs. And so there are a few barriers because these are all entry level. Surg Tech, of course, is a little more complicated and complex. So we do have something that looks like the FCAT reading and FCAT language arts test you might have taken in high school, just to make sure you're able to communicate effectively, both in writing and in reading. And then other than that, you come in, you take a tour of the facility. If we match up and you'd like to enroll, then it's a quick 5-page application. And we will take you through the entire financial aid process, from setting up your FSA ID to helping you fill out the FAFSA so that you can, see what kind of federal student aid you might qualify for. We hook you up with any local scholarships that we can. And that whole process is something we superintend. That student first mentality means that we're going to kind of curate your experience and your application and your enrollment. And then we have an orientation, and you're off and running at the next available start.
So Omale asked if there's any tests you're required to take in order to qualify, which I think you answered. It's for the surgical technology.
Yeah, only for surgical tech. No tests, just some kind of secondary credential.
And then she also asked if you have any online class options.
So we don't. We believe that skill-based workforce development is best done in person. And so our classes are 4 hours a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The morning classes go from 8:30 to 12:30, and then we have evening classes from 6 to about 9:30 at night. And listen, you can't learn how to, give injections or to draw blood online. You must be doing hands-on. Electrical, HVAC, these are 100% hands-on courses where you're going to be working with, live equipment so that when you walk out of here, you have marketable skills. You're not going to know how to do things. You're going to know how to do things.
Thank you. That's really helpful. Anyone else? Last call to throw something in the Q&A box. A reminder that this meeting was recorded, so we'll be putting it on the Women's Resource Center YouTube channel. So feel free to share with anyone who you think might be interested. And we'll also send it out to everyone who registered. So you'll be receiving it in your inbox as well. All right. Enrico, any last thoughts if we don't have any questions?
Yeah, the only thing I would tell you is this, my friends, that it's never too late to take a detour into a better future. You do not have to do this on your own. You have support from a variety of folks, who want to see you reach your goals and your dreams. So, we're glad to be working with the Women's Resource Center because, as I said at the very beginning, our mission is exactly the same. Our job is to provide resources, expertise to empower you to meet your goals and achieve your dreams. And in this case, your professional, objectives. So thanks very much for being a part of today. And I hope forward to see one of you, or if you feel like you want to call or text, feel free and you can get me directly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Enrico. So when I close the webinar, stay on the line. There will be a survey pop up and we would love to get your feedback. Thank you all for joining us for this month's Career Connections. We will not be having a Career Connections in November or December moving into the holidays, but we will be back in January for the monthly series. So thank you all. Hope you have a great day.
Take care, all.